Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. This is episode number 275, The Sentinel, the classic 1977 supernatural horror film starring, and here we go, folks, I got the list ready, Chris Sarandon, Christina Rains, Martin Balsam, John Carradine, Jose Ferrer, Ava Gardner, Arthur Kennedy, Burgess Merideth, Sylvia Miles, Deborah Raffin, Eli Wallach, and I will stop there. And the list keeps going on and on and on. And after all of that, with me tonight is my friend, my co-host, the one and only, the man who is celebrating Halloween weekend with me as we do a feature on Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. I figured I'd get this to keep going and going and going as long as the cast list of this movie is the one and only Ross Amico.
What do you mean Halloween month?
Halloween month. What did I say?
Weekend.
Well, it is Halloween. Well, yeah, it's not Halloween weekend yet.
But if
you're
watching this, if you're watching the Sentinel, it feels like a month. So. Hey, Roy.
Hey, Ross. How's it going?
Going well. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's Friday. We're covering this movie, and yeah, it's definitely an appropriate Halloween month movie. That's for sure.
It certainly is. 70s horror, or as I describe it, 70s WTF horror.
I think that's when you send me the link, I think you put that in there. But anyway, it's all good. Hey, I want to say hi to our viewers that are joining us. First up on the list is Shari. Shari's downstairs. Hi, hon. Thanks for joining us.
Shari.
And I see Randy Lee is out there, and he's joining us from Wisconsin. And he's saying, so, confession time. No pun intended. I haven't done my homework, the Sentinel. Think of me as the student who shows up for the exam, hoping the multiple choice gods are merciful.
It'd be perfect for Randy with the confession.
Yeah. Hey, and joining us from Australia is James Michael Avalos. James, welcome. Good to see you out there as well. Shari is saying, saw this with my dad, and I had just turned 16. I was 16 going on 12, a young 16. This movie, I was going to say scared me to death, but I think scarred me to death. and can we say freaky? Thanks, Dad. Lots of laughs.
It was Sherry's Omega Man.
It was Sherry's Omega Man, exactly. Yeah. And she said she saw it at the State Theater. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And Bill is out there. Welcome, Bill. Hope you're doing well. Hi to Mary also. And yeah, great to see everybody out there. Hopefully we didn't, well, it is Halloween month, but I was going to say if people are religious, maybe, they're not tuning in for that reason.
Or they know the movie.
This isn't The Omen.
Or they know the movie and they said, I'm not tuning in for that.
We don't have our usual 7 million viewers that are tuning in, Ross. We've only got our 600,000 tonight.
Yeah, well, I figured this wasn't really a fan favorite.
Yeah,
Sherry and I are probably the only two people that remember it.
I actually do remember it because I remember it being on, well, in the movies and the advertisements for it, but I hadn't seen it.
Remember how scary these? Yeah, good.
What did you say?
No, you can say hello.
Okay. Hey, Don. Don is joining us from Delaware. Welcome, Don. Great to see you out there.
Remember how scary these things were when we were kids? Yeah, we'd see an ad for it on TV and we'd be like, oh my God, it's the gates of hell.
You know what movie really terrified me? It's funny you're saying that in regards to previews.
Yeah.
I used to get so freaked out by this movie when I was a kid. And we should actually cover it because it actually turned 50 years old this year, if memory serves correct.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea what it could be?
This year, what are we? So it would have been 1975?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And let me give you a hint. It's about the perfect, I'll just say people in the movie are supposedly perfect, or they become perfect.
Not comb. Yeah, what was that? Where they did the plastic surgery? What movie was that?
It
Not
wasn't.
Eyes on Mars.
No, great guess. That film I think was 78
later.
or 79.
Yeah, it was a little later. Yeah. What was that? I'm thinking of the one with Albert Finney.
No,
that was something different.
It was actually the Stepford Wives.
Oh, Stepford Wives, and that scared you?
It scared me because what happens is they showed in the preview of her confronting herself.
Yeah,
and it just the way they led up to it, and that whole thing just like freaked me out as a kid. I mean, it was only like what 10. I was 9 years old, 8 to 9 years old then.
Wasn't Patrick O'Neill in that?
He was. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny that you should mention that because the guy who wrote the book for the Sentinel was also a screenwriter, and his first movie was Silent Night, Bloody Night, and it had Patrick O'Neill in it.
Oh, there you go.
So they used to show it on Saturday Night Dead sometimes.
Oh, okay. Patrick O'Neill, man, he could be something.
Remember, he's at the money store. Wasn't he the guy at the money store? No, it's Phil Rizzuto.
No, that was Phil Rizzuto.
Yeah, but Patrick O'Neill did some commercial. What was that? Wasn't the money store. Phil Rizzuto was the money store. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
holy cow. It's funny. Don said it's Orca.
It's Orca's the one that horrified us. Yeah.
Hey, Lou.
Hey,
Thanks
Lou.
for being out there. Good to see you out there, too. And Lou's joining us from Rhode Island. So, yeah.
The home of H.P. Lovecraft.
That's right.
Not the same town, though.
Oh,
yeah.
But
small state.
Yeah, it is a small state. It's very small. Have you ever been to Rhode Island?
Don't believe I have. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Bill saying I don't need a robot wife. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you see this movie back in 1977?
I did not see it in 77. I don't believe I've seen it twice. Okay. I can't remember the first time I saw. I want to believe I saw it in a theater, but because sometimes in college we had a great film program, but sometimes they'd show trashy movies like this, and I can't remember if they did or not. But I remember the more recent time I saw it was not on video or not on DVD or 4K or anything like that, but on VHS. Was the last time I saw it, and that was in the 2000s, I think. So it's been about 20 years since I've seen this movie. Yeah,
and I believe they did a Blu-ray release, and they actually have some extras with it too. So commentary and everything. Get
all the dirt, of everybody like complaining about everybody on the commentary track.
Well, especially Chris Sarandon. I heard this was his favorite movie role of all time, and it really inspired him to keep going as far as the acting industry.
I'm sure. Everybody hated the director. The director hated everybody. The producer hated the director. The director hated the producer.
Michael Winner does not sound like he was a winner with the cast, or anyway. No. Oh my God, no pun intended. They needed somebody. You talk about the Sentinel as far as guarding the gates of Hades. You needed a Sentinel to guard the gates of the studio.
Yeah. Well, Michael Winner is best known for Death Wish. He worked with Charles Bronson a lot, and before that, he worked with Oliver Reed a lot. So you can imagine,
there you go.
If you can corral Oliver Reed and I don't know, Bronson was supposed to be a pretty nice guy, I think, pretty taciturn guy. But
yeah, he
despite his screen persona. But Oliver Reed, we all know, is a madman.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah, so he started out at Cambridge. He edited his school newspaper, and apparently it was he was the youngest guy to do it. And then his dad started financing. His dad was a clothing businessman. He had some kind of successful clothing business, and he financed his early shorts, and that got him started as a filmmaker. So,
you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, Ross.
Got to start somewhere, and then he's working with Oliver Reed. So, he did it. It's funny. The one film he did that I have never seen, and I don't think I could find it streaming online anywhere. It was called The Cool Mikado. And what he did is he took Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado, and he set it in contemporary Japan, and they're all gangsters and stuff. So, and it's a musical. It's got Stubby K in it, So I want to see this movie.
When did it come out?
60s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have it was 63.
Oh, that's interesting.
The Cool Mikado.
The Cool Mikado.
Mm.
Reminds me of that song from The Lion King. Kuda Mikado.
They stole it from Michael Winter. Yeah.
I want to say hi to Jeff Rubel,
Jeff.
who's joining us from Utah. Hey, Jeff. And then May is out there. She's joining us from Canada.
Hey.
Welcome, May. And she's saying, this is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of suspense. There is a lot of suspense with this.
And it's creepy. And I have to admit, as it builds, the ending kind of like makes your skin crawl a little bit.
It does. It really does.
And it has stuff that comes at you out of nowhere. Like the bizarre orgy early in the movie.
It's like, yeah, and it's like right in the launch of the film. I mean, you get past the opening credits and everything, and then it's like, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah.
Sherry's asking, why did they hate each other?
Who knows? I know that the guy who wrote, I don't know him personally, the guy who wrote the book who ultimately...
That was Jeffrey Kovitz, right?
Yes, Jeffrey Konvitz, who wrote the book and co-wrote the screenplay.
Yes,
with Michael. Had a lot of disagreements with Winter's decisions and the way he made the movie.
A lot of headbutting.
and I think he wrote the book, so of course he had a vision of how it would be, and he wanted more of that stuff in shadow at the end, and that's like one of the lesser complaints he had about Michael Winter. He thought he was not an imaginative enough director. He was too literal in the way he did the movie.
Well, sometimes less is more. I mean, when you have things in the shadows, your imagination actually really gets to run wild as opposed to having it really come out. But I was, Michael Winter really wanted to really freak people out. And he wanted them to see this film and be like, oh my God, this is the freakiest movie I've ever seen. And some of the ways he went about it, it was kind of freaky. Some of it,
you had the one scene with the zombie father or what have you, the demon father. That was very, it reminded me a little bit of a White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, because they had zombies in that movie and kind of acted that way, or something out of a William Castle movie where there would just be like some crone that would come out of nowhere and walk across the screen and make you jump. And then some of it was kind of warmed over Rosemary's Baby, because that was also about moving in, looking for an apartment and moving into a building with some very strange neighbors who seem innocuous at first. Although I can't say hers seemed innocuous at first. Right from the get-go, they seemed pretty wacky.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Diana. Diana's joining us from, I'm going to say Atlantic City, New Jersey, down South Jersey. I'll say South Jersey.
Watched it. Yeah.
Hey, good to see you out there, Diana. And she says, I love that movie. I just watched it the other day. Very cool.
He still has followers, fans.
And Jeff is saying, just looking at a few screenshots of this, Nana Visitor was a little girl back then. As I said, there are so many people that are associated with this film. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna go into that first in regards to just doing some of the screenshots. And it looks like you have a visitor there, Ross.
It's the visitor, yeah.
Not to be confused with Nana Visitor. Nana Visitor.
It's Pepper.
Hi, Pepper. Aw, really cute.
Pepper doesn't usually get down here.
Aw.
Whoops.
So interesting enough, in regards to this film, principal photography actually began on this movie May 21st of 1976, which is kind of an irony because that both Ross and my mom's birthday is on that date. So it's kind of interesting. So that it actually started. So this film was released in February of 77. So production wise, it's literally like a 49-year-old movie. And it was filmed mostly in New York City and then the brownstone.
In Brooklyn. Yeah.
Brooklyn, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was, I remember my mom reading the book. My mom read a lot of books like this in the 70s.
Yeah.
A lot of horror fiction. It was very popular at the time. I remember this, the Hephaestus Plague. We've Always Lived in the Castle, or by Shirley Jackson. And so and The Exorcist, of course. So every time she would read one of these things, it'd be on the nightstand. So I'd see it every day. The creepy Sentinel.
The creepy Sentinel.
And then the movie came out. Yeah.
So Chris Sarandon today is 83 years old, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, he's like,
Well, it does seem like he's been around forever, doesn't it?
It does. And I mean, I usually think of Fright Night when I think of him, which was 85. So that would have been what? This is 70. This was Creepshow. Fright Night was probably filmed in 84. It came out the summer of 85. So you're talking, in regards to years difference, it's about 11 years. So
yeah. Well, then he was in Princess Bride. He was Prince Humperdinck.
Yeah.
And then he did the voice of Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas. So he had a pretty good run. I mean, he's still active, but if you're an actor, I think if you made one popular movie, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But he's appeared in a number of films that people remember, either fondly or like this one.
Yeah, exactly. Which he loved. Basically, this film pretty much made him almost want to give up acting, because he really went head to head with the director. I guess he had, we were just talking about, had such a hard time with him.
Yeah, he said there was nothing rewarding about it, either professionally or personally, for him. And I thought it was just him, but as I went and read more and more and more about it, everybody had some kind of experience like that on this movie,
including Christina Rains.
Yeah. Which I thought, all these people are still alive, so I don't want to be
right
scathing, but I thought that her performance was not the best as I was watching it, except in scenes where you would expect, and it as you've acted, what it's like. When you deal with emotions, it's easier to get into a scene. So whenever she had to be scared or anything like that, she was fine. But in just the day-to-day stuff, there was not a lot of chemistry between her and Chris Sarandon, so she came off flat a lot of times, I thought, in this movie.
Sherry just commented and said her acting was to be designed.
Okay, so Sherry said, when I'm trying to dance around. Yeah. So I thought, frankly, she was pretty terrible in most of the movie.
She said she was sort of flat.
Yeah, flat. Except in the fright scenes, she's a scream queen. But her resume, I realize I've seen her a million times, and they were in good movies. She was in Nashville. She was in The Duelists.
Yep.
And then after this, she was in. She went right to The Duelists after this. Oh, she was in The Stone Killer, which apparently she got cut out of, a Charles Bronson movie.
Yes.
Michael Winter directed before this, so that's, I guess, how she wound up in this movie. I thought she looked like a heck of a lot like Kate Jackson, though.
She has that look. There was almost like a twinkle in her eye that kind of like Kate Jackson almost has. I can't even. She was playing up to the camera with her facial expressions.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, though, she actually left the acting profession, and I believe she became a registered nurse.
Yeah. And early on, before she got into acting, she wanted to be a veterinarian. So she's probably a very good person. She wanted to do public service, wanted to take care of animals, take care of people.
Yeah.
But she had a 10 or 12 year stint in between where she was in a lot of horror movies, but in some first quality movies like The Duelists and Nashville also. It was because of her looks. One of her relatives talked her into modeling, is what it was.
Personally, she was connected with Keith Carradine.
Yes.
And the irony is John Carradine, Keith's father, David Carradine's father also, who's not in this movie, was, also, there's the connection with that.
Yeah, but John Carradine was his 468th screen credit.
I know. John Carradine is like timeless.
Yeah, you've got quality when you get John Carradine to be in your movie.
Seriously.
But yeah, so it's probably the third movie John Carradine made that week. But yeah. So she was involved with Keith Carradine because the first film she made was called Hex, and she played a witch. and Keith Carradine was in that. But I remember her in Nashville. She was in there with Keith. Everybody in this movie was either in Nashville or there was another movie where they were all at, like Jeff Goldblum and oh yeah, well Jeff Goldblum was in Death Wish, Michael Winter's Death Wish.
Yes,
He was one of the rapists at the beginning. So it's and he was dubbed in this movie, I guess. It didn't sound like him anyway.
No, and he wasn't even in the opening credit. Well, he was. It was funny. They had a shot of him in the opening credits, but they didn't list him in the opening credits.
No.
and they dubbed over him. Folks, we're probably going to be talking more about the actors of any. Basically, this will be the whole show. Because,
well, there's plenty to. I mean, the actors are really. I mean, there are at least 20 actors in this movie that everybody knows. Yeah, because it's kind of the Big Chill of horror movies, I think, because everybody in this movie went on to better things, or they were winding up their careers from the golden age. You know, so you had people like Ava Gardner and Jose Ferrer and Arthur Kennedy and the
list goes. The list.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith.
I mean, and Ross is going through it, but yeah. So you got Martin Balsam there. You got John Carradine in the middle. Yeah. You have Jose Ferrer on the end.
Jose cashed the check Ferrer. He was in two scenes of the movie.
Ava Gardner. You got Arthur Kennedy there. You got Burgess Meredith with the cute cat, whose name is I'm forgetting at the moment.
It was Jezebel.
Jezebel, thank you, Ross.
It was Jezebel, and the bird's name was Mortimer.
Mortimer, yeah, you had Jezebel's birthday.
Yeah.
You also have whatchamacallit, Sylvia Miles. Deborah Raffin. Eli Wallach. I mean, again, the list goes on.
I think Eli Wallach was playing a different movie. You know, because he always had a smirk on his face. He had a different plot going through his head than what was.
He really did. Christopher Walken is in this movie, and I'm not trying to make. I mean, it's almost like he's walking through the movie because you're not even. He doesn't even talk. He's just a presence. I think if he has one line,
which is crazy because then within a year he was in The Deer Hunter. And he won the Academy Award. Yeah,
it's like give the guy a break, give him a chance.
Yeah.
Don, you have the Penguin and Mr. Freeze. Exactly, Don.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Eli Wallach also played Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Beverly D'Angelo, she's in her first, and I actually have photos, but I'm not going to showcase them on the screen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there are very many photos you could use of her in this movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of like holding off on that. You got Hank Garrett, Robert Berenger, Nana Tucker. Nana Tucker is Nana Visitor. Folks know there's the Star Trek, one of the Star Trek connections. There's another Star Trek connection. William Hickey, who I think, if I remember correctly, I think he taught at what was it? The acting studio in New York City. It was.
Oh, did he? Yeah, because I remember him always from Prizzi's Honor. He played the Godfather in Prizzi's Honor.
Yeah, but he was a teacher too, and I can't think of the name of the acting school. In fact, Rob, I think, took class HB Studios. I think he was a professor there.
Okay.
Gary Allen, Jerry Orbach. I mean, I don't have a photo of him, but I mean, of course, I always think of Law and Order.
Of course, yeah. You have
a cameo with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
There he is. And then
and at that point he'd already done Jaws.
Yeah, because that was 75.
And he hadn't won for Goodbye Girl yet, but he was a known guy. They just threw him in there. It's just like, oh, look, he must have just been on the set that day or something.
Yeah, it's like, let's add some credibility to the movie. We'll have Richard Dreyfuss in it.
Yeah, because he got no credit in the film. Yeah. What? He didn't. They didn't give him credit.
I know they did. That's what I mean. I had him listed as a cameo, and it's like he's not even in the credits. Jeff Goldblum, and he was playing the photographer. So you have that. Now, the other thing, I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, and I'm doing this a little bit early, but as we like to do on the show with All Roads, I saw this and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I don't know if you caught this or not, Ross. all roads lead to Space 1999, folks, because in the opening credits, when they're walking and she's on the cover of Esquire magazine, all looking very pretty and beautiful and everything. But where does my eye go? My eye goes to the Space 1999 comic that's like right below it. And I was hilarious. Like, oh my God, there it is. And you can see it. And it's one of the comics, 1999. And, Diana's out there. Jeff is out there. Lou is out there. So May is out there. The Space 1999 fans, Randy Lee. So, there you go.
It's like the Alfred Hitchcock cameo.
Space
get that out of the way in the credits.
Into the Sentinel. And this was shot in May of 1976. So that would have been during the first season would have only been released. And I thought that was really cool. I got a reaction out of Jeff. He's like, "Oh yeah, baby." It was so funny because when I was watching this and I was saying to Sherry, "Oh my God," and then I'm like going back and I'm like taking a picture with and everything, and I was like, "This is so cool."
Roy is the Sentinel. Space 1999 Sentinel.
Had to share. Now, another thing. Special visual effects. I saw this and I saw Albert Whitlock, who was an amazing artist who had done matte paintings. And I saw the name and I said, "Oh my God, that's got to be." So I went back and double checked. And of course, for the folks out there, classic Star Trek fans, from The Cage, Rigel 7 or Rigel 4 rather, the matte painting from that. Also from Where No Man Has Gone Before, Delta Vega, he did that. Then there's also the Starbase from Court Martial. He did that painting. And then he also did the painting, if you remember, A Taste of Armageddon. I didn't include it on the slide, but that's the Imini R7. There's a matte painting in that as well, too. So his work is incredible, and it was present in this movie. And, of course, as Jeff was just mentioning, Nana Visitor, who is titled or is actually listed as Nana Tucker in the credits, but wanted to mention. And then also, he's with Tom Berenger at the end.
Yeah. This is also the big chill of horror movies. Yeah, because you had Jeff Goldblum in it too.
Yeah.
So
there you go. I mean, that big chill was what, 83, Ross?
83. Yeah.
So a few years later, literally.
So don't give up if you're ever cast in a horrible horror movie.
Yep.
You can have quite the career ahead of you.
I actually met Nana Visitor but she was at the Star Trek Original Series set tour over the summer. Super, super nice. She was great with the fans and everything. I wish I had known that she was in this movie. I would have,
you would get slapped. Hey, I saw you in the Sentinel. Would you ever?
Yeah, I thought it was Rigel 7. Thanks, James. I'm slipping. I said I went from 7. I think I went from 7 to 4, but yeah, it's 7. Thank you. And Randy saying in the film's finale, many of the demon-like figures are played by real people with physical disabilities or abnormalities selected from hospitals and sideshows. Yeah. True. Yep.
And that's kind of disturbing. I don't think they could get away with that today, but who knows? I mean, is it an empowering thing or is it an exploitative thing?
Right.
But it reminded me of I don't know if you ever saw Todd Browning's Freaks from the 30s, where they use all sideshow, real life freaks as the sideshow characters in the movie, and it's unnerving because of that. And this is too. I mean, you realize that a lot of that stuff's not makeup. It's like,
well, and I think that's what he was going for. So I almost feel like the director was being more exploitative with this. In this film, I mean, I don't want to say that for sure, but that's kind of the vibe I get from just everything that I've read.
Because he was saying, "Oh yeah, he tried to be classy about it, like a Hieronymus Bosch painting, but really it's more like freaks."
Yeah, and the other thing too is what was really disturbing, or what was very sad, is that I guess when they were going to the commissary or whatever, it was like nobody was actually hanging with them. They were kind of, and I think the one, I don't know if it was him or somebody was supposedly going to eat with them, and then they said that they were tied up or they were busy. And,
it was Winter, Michael Winter. Like out of solidarity, he was going to go and eat with them, but then he said he was too busy.
Yeah. Randy said, come out based on The Exorcist 73, The Omen 76, and Audrey Rose 76.
That's the thing. This is like from the height of this era of, because you had Rosemary's Baby came out in 1968.
Yep.
Okay. Then you had The Exorcist in 1973. You had The Omen in 1976, and then you had Amityville Horror in 1979. And I'm not saying all these films were of equal merit, but they were all the films that had, some kind of demonic possession, and then the Catholic Church, there's because there's got to be some kind of exorcism involved, or here I don't know. There's like some kind of bizarre conspiracy that they're covering up guarding a hellmouth. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole premise of the film. Yeah. And I'm surprised.
Well, this
film got. Yeah. Did you read anything about this film getting pushback from the church?
No, but when they showed it on TV, yeah. So I assume it. They were just being preemptive. They didn't want to offend anybody,
right?
And I don't think they really needed to be I don't know though, because I'm not easily offended by that kind of thing. But I suppose if you were really, seriously like, oh, this is offensive to my faith or whatever, then but I guess the one priest does commit murder in the movie. I assume it was him, right?
Oh, it was. It was him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But that's okay though, because it was for the good, the power of good. It was not the power of evil. But
well, and that's what's disturbing, and really just I'm not going to go through the entire plot, but essentially, and Ross always laughs when I say that. And then Randy Lee will say, "And back to the plot."
Back to the plot.
No, essentially, and you summed it up too. Yeah. Oh, Bill's just saying that I thought so. Well, with The Exorcist, definitely, Bill. I wasn't sure about this movie though, and I didn't read anything about it being banned.
Well, what they did though is for the television showing. Apparently, they took out all the references to the church somehow. I don't know how they did this, and they instead they called it like the League of the Sentinels, or the union of this. What did they say?
It changed the whole premise of the movie.
So they took out all the church stuff, and it was the Brotherhood of the Sentinel.
The Brotherhood of the Sentinel.
So they must have shot either different scenes, or they just kind of explained away. Never mind the fact that they're all walking around in their Monsignor garb and dressed as cardinals and everything.
And now back to the plot. The one about a cursed Brooklyn apartment that's actually the front door to hell.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what it is. It's like there's like a rip in the space-time continuum. Only in this case, it's the door to Hades, and somebody is guarding it, and that's where John Carradine comes into play. And we were showing his photo a little earlier, and actually
if you think about it, there's really no reason to get offended, because it's actually flattering to the church that they're the guardians of the planet, of the mortals against the forces of Satan.
But no, what I don't understand is why, and I mean, this is something we don't really know, but why is he blind? Is it so that he's not frightened by them? It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's a Sentinel.
They give him the ping pong balls for the eyes.
Yeah. So why does this happen? There's got to be something to it, because just the way the course of the film, and I'm talking,
have to be blind to truly see. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
No,
I mean,
I have no idea.
It makes no. I don't know. It doesn't make
the
any
truth
sense.
Would blind him.
Bill says it sounds like an X-rated version of the movie Dogma. Yeah, so that just didn't really make sense. I don't know where they were going with that. And I guess that's where reading the book maybe would open.
Yeah. Because the book was supposedly, I'm sure it's just a bestseller. I'm sure it's a popular fiction kind of thing, just as Jaws was a popular fiction thing that they made into an excellent movie. I'm not expecting any great literature from the book The Sentinel, but it was very popular. It was a bestseller, and then he wrote a sequel that also flew off the racks, but they never made that into a movie. It's called The Guardian. I wonder if my mom read that one.
But, now here, diving deep, Ross, diving deep. The priest is blind in the movie because he is the blind guardian or sentinel of a gateway to Hades located in the building. His
They don't
blindness.
say Hades. You're saying Hades.
I'm saying Hades. His blindness is a physical manifestation of his duty to stand eternal watch, as he is a man forced to atone for a past sin of suicide by preventing demons from escaping into the world. And that's essentially what,
Yeah, see, there's no Hades in Christianity. We're like, we're dealing with John Milton here. We're dealing with Dante. It's hell.
Yeah, I know. Say it about 1 million times, Ross. And then the algorithm will knock us off the air. Way to go, Ross.
I'm not swearing. It's a place.
I know, it is hell.
It is amusing, though, that it's always the Catholics that they call on. They never call on the Protestants. But, there is it was because of the exorcism. That's why. There's a hero that Robert Howard, the guy who created Conan, did, called Solomon Kane. And they made a movie out of it too, but I didn't see the movie. But the stories are great. He's a Protestant witch hunter, and he just goes around, and it's like in the 17th century, and he goes around and wrestles demons and stuff. Uses his brute strength to fight the forces of evil.
Interesting.
What's it say about the stigmata?
So, hey, Marianne, thanks for joining. Glad you're out there. She said, well, stigmata is the suffering of future saints. And then she said, it is his stigmata. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Marianne. We need a clarification.
Oh, here, somebody's read it. Yeah.
And then May said, the Guardian was a very different sort of story, more of a mystery whodunit.
He wanted to do a third one too, but he never got around to it. The reason he wrote the book is because nobody would accept it. He came up with the story and he couldn't get anybody to look at it, so he wrote it as a novel first, and then he was able to get the studio interested in the book, and he did that because he was a screenwriter originally, is what it was, and then he became a producer on top of it and was able to make some money. But it's strange because most of the things that he wrote the screenplays for were pretty, not great movies.
Right.
I mean, he started with Silent Night, Bloody Night, and went downhill from there. He did Gorp. You remember Gorp, the summer camp film?
Yes, I do remember that.
That was one of his screenplays. He came up with the story and wrote the screenplay. Yeah, it was just a total Meatballs Animal House ripoff.
Wasn't that in the 70s, late 70s? Or early 80s, somewhere around there?
Well, Dennis Quaid was in it.
It was probably early 80s.
It might have been 1980.
Wow.
And it had, a couple of people, right? A couple of people in it are known now, but they weren't really that well known then.
Wow.
And then he did Cyborg 2 with Jean-Claude Van Damme. The first one was one of those Albert Pune movies. He's the guy who did The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he had nothing to do with the second one. So this guy wrote the screenplay for it, Jeffrey Konvitz, and then he did all these Leslie Nielsen movies you'd never heard of. After Naked Gun was a big hit, and Leslie Nielsen was like coming out with comedies all the time that nobody went to see. Yeah. So, well, he wrote all the screenplays for those.
Okay.
So he went from the Sentinel to Leslie Nielsen.
It's funny you're bringing up Leslie Nielsen because they're streaming the Naked Gun movie now that has Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, and that's the takeoff on those movies that came out back in the late 80s, which was based on the television series Police Squad. Which is a very funny series, actually.
Love
that series. It was only a 6-episode series, and it came out in 82 with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
And
George Kennedy.
George Kennedy was not in the television
series. He was in the movies. He
was in the movie.
I want to know why yeah.
And the worst part of it is the guy that played Nuremberg was Peter Lupus. That was from Mission Impossible. In fact, when they were doing the promos for that, they even said, who they go, Leslie Nielsen, and they go some guy, and then who was his boss, and then they said, and then they go, and the guy from Mission Impossible. Peter Lupus was like the brawn guy. You know what I mean? He was the muscular, and he was Willie. And guess who got to play him in the movie version?
Oh, it wasn't OJ, was it?
It was OJ. OJ. And Peter
yeah.
Lupus was actually a chiller. Vince and I actually saw him and talked to him about it. He said what the problem was, the studio at the time didn't want to rely on Leslie Nielsen to be a box office draw. So that's why they had George Kennedy instead of Alan North, who was playing his boss in the TV.
Yeah, because George Kennedy was still packing them in at that point.
Oh, yeah. And then also they've had OJ on there to help, as the big name. But I even said to Peter Lupus, I would have rather had you. And this is, would have rather had you on there just because I love the TV series. The TV series, like you just said, it was great. It was six episodes. It was short lived, but it was hysterical, and it was humor like it was the Zucker brothers and Abrams.
Yeah. I wonder how George Kennedy managed not to be in this movie. By the way, this seems totally the kind of movie George Kennedy would have been in.
No, and you're absolutely right. And this was the airport movies was an inspiration for them doing this because they felt that with the airport films having such a stellar cast, it worked for that. So they figured they would do this with the horror film.
Right. With the golden age actors and the newcomers.
Yeah.
They knew they had it
covered. Well, I didn't understand Police Squad when it came out. I guess I need to grow into it. I guess it's something either you like or you don't like, Bill. I just love that kind of humor because it's
yeah. I thought it was more suited to an hour or to a half-hour show than it was to a 90-minute movie, frankly.
I agree. Yeah. But because you can only milk some of those gags only so much. And I felt that the first movie was probably the best out of them. And then they did a second and then they did a third, which actually was titled 30. Wasn't it 33 and a third, I think?
Yeah.
They begun 2.5. Was the second one like 1.5?
And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I've seen any of the movies all the way through. So I'm probably just talking through my hat, Roy.
The series was good. Yeah, wait, a show about bad humor. Yeah, I think you'd like it. Marianne, I have to ask you, did you see this movie back in the day when it was in the theater? I want to put that out to Marianne. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Apparently, several people remember it from having seen it in the movies.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I thought that it was
ahead of its time, James. Totally agree.
Yeah. I kind of figured that this movie was not going to get a lot of I didn't know really if it was going to get a lot of reaction or not because I remembered it.
No, and I remember hearing about it, and Marianne said she did see it. Okay. Tell us, Marianne, did it freak you out back then, or what were your thoughts about it when you saw it? I'm putting Marianne on the spot. Just want to hear her thoughts.
And it's funny because as I'm watching it, and I saw it written somewhere.
She said it was great as I Love Heart. Yeah. That's what I thought.
It was something like this movie had like 8 Oscar winners in it, and I forget, like 11 Oscar nominees or something.
Oh, I know. You got Christopher Walken. I mean, like you said before, I mean, he did the Deer Hunter. You had Richard Dreyfuss. You had Eli Wallach, who was honorary Oscar winner.
He won the honorary award the other year, right?
Yep. Martin Balsam.
Martin Balsam.
Yep. And then Jeff Goldblum.
Chris Sarandon had just been nominated for Dog Day Afternoon the year before.
Ava Gardner was in the nominee.
Ava Gardner, Jose Ferrer, I think was nominated. He won for Cyrano, but I think he was nominated twice. He was nominated for when he played Toulouse-Lautrec too. I think for Moulin Rouge, the one from the 50s, not the one with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, okay,
that's a different movie. Burgess was not nominated.
Yep, Sylvia Miles was. And, also,
that's right, for Midnight Cowboy, right? And for she was nominated twice, I think.
Oh,
and then she was in that Andy Warhol movie Heat. I don't know how he got Sylvia Miles. She seems to have been a very peculiar actress. she didn't mind showing off her body. I know that. Yeah.
Marianne said the concept made you think with this. Yeah.
Made you think, what am I watching?
No, and in fact, this was a Ross pick, and I think you thought I was going to be like, oh, no. But hey, it even had the reference to Space 1999, so and the Star Trek references. But no, even putting that aside, I thought this was like a traditional 70s supernatural horror film, or as Ross said earlier, a WTF 70s horror film. it did. But the sad thing about this film is that it was trying to be there. It was trying to get to where it was going, but it doesn't quite make it, in my opinion. It's like it had the, I mean, let's face it, it had the cast.
Mm-hmm.
The writing, maybe it was the chemistry, like you said too. I mean, part of it I'm going to blame on the writing, but the chemistry between the two leads, it just Sarandon and whatchamacallit, Christina Rains.
Right.
It wasn't quite there. It was you wanted to connect, but it just was, things were unclear. Now let me ask you a question, and here's the disclaimer, folks. We're going to give some spoilers away here. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see the movie, just cover your ears for 2 minutes. No, don't shut us off, because we need the numbers. we need the millions, Ross. We want to get up back to 1.2 million viewers.
All right.
So anyway, with that said, did you realize, or did you think he was not as nice of a guy as he was pretending to be? What was your feeling about it?
Yes, because I kind of saw the parallels with Rosemary's Baby, and I thought he was going to be more like a John Cassavetes character. And they kind of keep you off balance about it, because then you wonder if he's playing her with the whole thing with the Latin and write down what you see and all that kind of thing. You're like, is it an inside job or not?
Right. But
no. But ultimately, it turns out he's a bad guy anyway. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, but they had an unenviable task. Like, no matter who you put in those roles that Chris Sarandon and Christina Rains played against that supporting cast, you're going to get lost. You know what I mean? You have to be the blandest person in the movie to play those two parts. Right. Because I mean, when you're in a movie with Burgess Meredith and John Carradine, I mean, you're not going to get like you're going to get swallowed. You know, forget the Hellmouth.
The only one that actually held up against Burgess Meredith was Jezebel.
The cat's birthday party. Black and white cake for black and white cat. Best birthday party. Full of murderers ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing though is you can accomplish a lot in a book that you can't accomplish in a movie. It's very hard to capture the atmosphere when you make a movie that makes a book creepy,
right?
And haunt you. You know, you got to kind of do it just right. I mean, apparently this did enough right that we all remember. People that saw it in the 70s or growing up or whatever, you remember some of the freaky stuff. But when you say it didn't quite knock it out of the park, I think that part of the problem is, it just doesn't live up to our expectations of what these things should be, which when you're reading a book, you don't have to put it all in there, and you're imagining it, right. The way it's going to freak you out, so you can't turn out the light.
Isn't it interesting though, a movie like The Omen, that now the Omen had a very strong cast too. Yeah. However, not as, it wasn't as plentiful, but it just goes to show you that quality doesn't depend upon quantity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or the success doesn't depend upon the quantity factors, because you could have a lower amount of less amount of cast in a film or TV show for that matter, smaller cast. Mm-hmm. But if you have the production values or you have the strong story, that's what's going to propel it. And in this case, it just, I don't know, it felt choppy is I guess my take on it. It just didn't flow the way it should have or could have.
Right. No, I think you're right. Yeah. And it's sad with some of the like Jose Ferrer, for instance. It's like, what happened to Jose Ferrer that he's like fallen to the point where he has to Yeah, because at this time, remember he made what was it, Zoltan Hound of Hell or something? You ever?
We'll be covering that Christmas week. Ross slipping it in right now.
Rare Fest. But he should have been counting his lucky stars that Woody Allen put him in that Midsummer Night's Sex comedy, because he was great in that. But the scripts he was getting,
actor, he was great. He was
the scripts he was getting in the 70s were like,
it's. I mean, Martin Landau. I mean, I'll use him as an example. I mean, sadly, after Space 1999, he even said he was in Europe. He was in the UK for 4 years. You know, he came back to the States, and it's just like he lost a lot of his contacts. And it's like people move on. And then he was doing, what was it? Anybody remember that roller coaster movie that he did? It was probably like 78, 79. It was right after 1999. And I think Mike Mannix, what's his name? The actor, Michael, oh my God, I can't think of his name. Anyway, Mike Connors. He was in the film with him, and he's playing this amusement park owner, and it was just a bad film. And then he did what was the other film that I was gonna say Shatner that Martin Landau did? It was 1980. Being There, or not Being There.
Oh, Being There was good. He did Meteor, I know, which was terrible.
Meteor was 79, but then there was a sci-fi horror film. He was in it with Jack Palance, and his character's name was the Sarge. And it was just a rough movie, and I can't think of what it was called.
It's got to be so rough when that's your trade. When you're an actor and that's what you do, and it's like, well, if I want to keep acting, this is what I've got to do.
Exactly, and he was a teacher. That's why when he did Tucker, A Man in His Dream, and that came out in '88, I was like, yes. I mean, it's like, you know what, he's getting the respect that he's deserving. He's got the role. And he got the nomination, and then of course, came whatchamacallit with Johnny Depp,
Ed Wood,
Ed Wood in '93, and that was
it. And he did Crimes and Misdemeanors in between.
Crimes and Misdemeanors. That was an excellent film. Yes.
Yeah. So it's always, I don't know why we live vicariously through these people, through these actors, because we grow up with them. You're a fan because of Space 1999, Mission Impossible. So, and you're kind of suffering through these movies. So yeah, when an actor has a second act to their career, it is gratifying, even though you don't know them personally.
Right. Yeah, you're really in their corner. You're really rooting for them. Yeah. Randy's saying, yeah, this is true, Randy. Ross, we have all been stuck at crappy companies. It's part of paying your dues.
I know, but it's after they had to pay their dues,
Yeah, but what's really frustrating though, Randy, is that when you have paid your dues, and then you maybe potentially make it, and then what happens is then you kind of fall off, and then you have to almost like repay them again, and then hopefully you get your second or third wind. Yeah. And the problem is you're older at this point, and it's like
you're waiting for another Dune.
Yeah, exactly.
When are they going to make Dune so I can stop making Devil Dog or not Devil Dudes, Zoltan Hound of Hell?
Ross is pushing the movie.
I was getting mixed up with Devil Dog, the one with Yvette and Mimeo. I get the two of them mixed up.
Yvette Mimeo.
Oh, wait, they might be they might be the same movie, but I'm not sure. Here, my
Ross is going to pull it out.
Yeah, no, I got to plug this in.
Bill said I always thought he was great as Bella and Ed Wood because absolutely.
Absolutely. It happened to Joseph Cotton too. Fabulous actor.
Yep.
Fabulous actor. Worked with Orson Welles and Alfred Hitchcock and made so many good movies. Carol Reed made Third Man, and then by the 70s, he's making things like The Hearse and. You forgot
the White Comanche with William Shatner in '67.
Oh, you're right. Oh, but when I was looking for something to watch on Shatner's birthday, and I said, I had no idea he made this supposed spaghetti western, and I watched it. It's like, how bad can it be?
He shot that down in Spain.
Ooh.
During the hiatus of season 1 and season 2 of Star Trek. Yeah,
it's pretty bad. I'm so sorry.
Joseph Cotton. He was in that film with Jennifer Jones that I love.
Duel in the Sun.
No. Oh my God, Jenny. What is it? Looking or
Portrait of Jenny. Portrait of
Portrait of
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah.
That was a great film. Yeah, we are totally digressing.
Well, those are good movies. Portrait of Jenny is a good movie. But,
Don just said Zoltan is great.
Oh, good, he remembers it. Yeah,
awesome.
But yeah. So you go from being an Academy Award winner. He's a Princeton alum, by the way.
Really,
Jose Ferrer graduated from here. But he's one of the biggest actors of mid-century, and then he's just kind of reduced to showing. It was funny because when the title comes up and it goes the Sentinel, and they have those spikes at the top and bottom of the S that's like trying to make it creepier looking. Yeah. But what I saw was a dollar sign. It just reminded me of the dollar sign. This is Jose Ferrer came on too. I thought, oh my God.
When I think of Jose too, I always think of Miguel Ferrer, his son, because he actually was in Star Trek.
Or Miguel.
Miguel. He was a good
Twin Peaks too. Yeah.
He was a good friend of Bill Mooney's, and sadly he passed. I believe from cancer.
Yeah, he was great in Twin Peaks too. But
hey, Dennis. Dennis is joining us from Canada. Welcome, Dennis. Good to see you out there.
So they try to give it the sense of here he goes. They try to give it the sense of international scope at the beginning, like in The Omen.
It's
or in The Exorcist.
Or in Italy.
Yeah. In The Exorcist, they set it in the Middle East, and in The Omen, it starts out in Italy. So here it's just like, well, what can we do on a budget? Somewhere in northern Italy. What are Jose Ferrer and I'm sure they shot the scenes with Jose Ferrer and Arthur Kennedy in the U.S. somewhere.
Universal Studios.
Yeah. I have to say, Arthur Kennedy for his one note as his part was, I thought he held on to his dignity.
Yeah.
It's still kind of funny to see him in it because he always plays kind of the cynical reporter. He was in Elmer Gantry. He was in Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, he played a lot of different parts, but it's usually like a hard-bitten, cynical character that they cast him as. And here he's the priest, the Monsignor.
The killer priest.
The killer priest. Well, you got to do what you got to do to protect the, keep the hellmouth closed.
Yeah, that was surprising. I didn't see that coming, but
and it varied from the book. Apparently, in the movie they have to show you stuff,
right?
But in the book, apparently, that you don't see that he's, she just comes to the house and finds out that he's, he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm one of them," or whatever. I'm in hell now, so. Yeah, there were a couple variations that weren't as sensational.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I did like how they handled that in the movie, though, because that was a belated creepy effect with him, with the Chris Sarandon's character at the end of the movie.
Yeah, because
before Burgess had a frustration. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. And he said Zoltan is on Daily Motion. Okay, cool.
All right. I wonder if it'll have ads Good or not. I'll have to check Internet Archive and see if it's on there.
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes we get lucky with that, which is a good source.
Yeah, really you can watch
me. Oh. Hey, Ross. Am I freezing?
You're juddering a little
Ross,
bit. Yeah.
Did you freeze or did I freeze?
It depends on your perspective, I guess. I didn't look like I froze to me, but I probably did. Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you remember Lost in Space, when then they would be like. Bill said, I just realized why I didn't see this movie. I was too busy spending all my money seeing Star Wars a million times. Yeah,
right.
Good excuse, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see a motion picture, a movie house with that. Marianne said, did any of you remember the movie The Believers?
No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
I'll have to look it up. What is it? Also a horror movie, I assume.
I'm assuming it probably is.
I'm right down here. The Believers. It's funny. It's funny how culturally all we need is a Hungarian name and we get all spooked out. Ooh, it's Zoltan. It's Zoltan. Such a common name in Hungary. I'm going to go see Zoltan. We're going to go get some burgers.
Burgers.
But in the movies, it's like, oh, Zoltan. Oh, cross yourself and wear garlic. Yeah, Martin Sheen was considered. That's who I think Michael Winner wanted for the lead. But what I read was the studios considered him a TV actor, which is strange to me because he had already made Badlands at that point, the Terrence Malick movie. He done films, acclaimed films. Oh, he's in The Believers. Oh, well, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, there you go. Martin Sheen was supposed to be in this movie, so instead he made The Believers, I guess. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, studio interference. It's amazing how that goes, right? As far as who you can get and who you can't.
Yeah. Well,
in fact, Michael Winner even said that he felt that Beverly D'Angelo and also Christopher Walken would have made the better couple for this movie.
Now, that would have been an interesting, actually, pairing. I think that would have been a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Put Christopher Walken in the lead of this film? I'd be scared if I were a demon. I'd think twice.
Marianne said Martin Sheen was great in it. And Bill is saying follow the money too.
Follow the
money. He said my favorite Michael Winner is The Mechanic.
Yeah, also with Bronson. Yeah, which they remade with Bruce Willis, but
interesting.
I don't think. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Ross. I'm sorry.
No. It was. I found it interesting that.
Zardoz, red diaper harness movie. Where's Linda?
Zoltan versus Zardoz. Yeah.
Zardoz lives.
That would be my favorite kaiju movie. But I found it interesting that Chris Sarandon's character, I'm sure you noticed that the whole wall in his apartment is all like magic. It's all Houdini and Goldston the magician. And I was trying to figure out what the significance of that was. Because Houdini was a magician, but he's also an escape artist.
Right.
And was this supposed to have any bearing on the fact that the demons are trying to escape hell? I mean, what was the point? What was the magic? But then I thought about it. I thought, you know what? Do you remember back then magic was very in, and Houdini the escape artist?
Huge.
In fact, Paul Michael Glaser was in the movie around that time, TV movie around that time. You remember that film where he played Houdini?
I think vaguely.
Yeah, I think it was the same year, maybe. But yeah, people were talking about it, but I couldn't figure out why it was so prominently displayed in the a couple of shots where you could just see the posters in the background. Yeah.
Linda's out there. She said, did somebody say Zardoz?
You know he did.
Linda said,
you know it.
Oh, it's so funny. And Tom said Jeffrey Unsworth, Zardoz.
Yeah, can you believe it?
No, I didn't realize
he went from Zardoz to the wheat fields of Kansas.
Wow.
Superman.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God. I mean, I loved the tribute that they gave him too in Superman. It was so. I think that was his last picture, right?
Yeah.
So sad when he died. That shot of after his Superman's what was his name? I mean, it's Martha. Not what was Clark Kent's father's name?
Jonathan
Kent, after he passes, and they do that shot of the field. It was just amazing.
Yeah, you have that one with the crane shot where they go up over the cemetery, but then you have the farewell with Martha Kent. Was it Phyllis Thaxter? And then they say farewell, and he's going to go head north.
Right.
Yeah, that's where you get the cinematography and the sweeping score, and
it's fantastic. Marion said, Ghost Story. What a cast!
Yeah. Was it Fred Astaire? Was it Melvin Douglas and Douglas Fairbanks Jr.? Is that who was in it? I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't make movies like that anymore, Ross.
Well, yeah, I mean, not with those actors, certainly.
No.
I remember even at the time, it's like, wow, how'd they get these three codgers in this movie?
John Houseman was in Ghost Story. Wow. Patricia Neal.
John Houseman was in Ghost Story also?
Yeah. Alice Krieg was in it. There's the Star Trek tie-in. She was the Borg Queen. Wow.
John Houseman was pretty hot at the time.
Sure.
After Paper Chase. Yeah.
Paper Chase, yeah. And if you're a $6 Million Man fan, he was Franklin. He was the creator of the Fembots.
And he was in the prologue for The Fog. Remember the Carpenter?
Yes. Yeah, we watched that not too long ago, probably about a year ago. Oh my god!
On YouTube, there's some commercial he made at here at Princeton selling some canola oil or something.
Randy said, "I know we are getting older, but actors don't have the same influence as they did then."
No,
it's true.
You don't seem to have the resonance. Yeah.
Marianne said the best was George C. Scott in Exorcist 3. Oh, that's right, Bill. He was John Houseman was in The Naked Gun. He was the driving instructor.
Oh wow,
that's right. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. All roads lead to John Houseman. I know we're in trouble, Ross, when you start crossing your arms and you pull back.
I was just winded, Roy. Just getting my second wind. Yeah, he goes all the way back. He was, he's buddies with Orson Welles at a time. I mean, I can't say that they were like frenemies. I can't say they were the best of friends, but
frenemies.
But they were part of they worked together as part of his Mercury Theater.
Yeah. I know Bill's not out there tonight, but he loves Orson Welles.
Yeah. I mean, Orson's another case, he's had a brilliant start. And then, by this, not even by the, he made a lot of movies just to pay for his personal projects. But, some of the movies he never even got a chance to finish because he just didn't have the funds. There was an unfinished Don Quixote movie he left at the end of his life. That I can't remember who did it, if it was his widow or there's some kind of conflict within the family there, like his last wife or whatever has all the rights to everything, and so there's wrangling between her and the studios and people who want to restore it and try to get some of these things out there. But every once in a while they come out with a new Orson Welles movie that they managed to finish with what he had. Try the best they can to stick to his, his original plan, the script and the storyboards and everything.
Right.
But he's another guy that just, it's sad what became of him because he was such a larger than life figure and such a mad genius on so many levels.
Isn't it crazy though when you think about the different directions things can go, and that's with anybody though. I mean, it's just that when you're in the entertainment industry, you're in the head, the lights, the spotlight treatment is on you. I mean, you're in the spotlight, and
nothing lasts forever.
No,
very rare. Yeah, I mean, very rarely does somebody have the good fortune, say Jeff Goldblum, where he's never not worked for 50 years.
Yeah. But just think about it. A lot of these folks, I mean, especially seeing them in this movie, they don't even have lines. I mean, there are a lot of them you could almost say are glorified extras. Or maybe one step up from that, but they really just never got their break. And then once they do get their break, everybody's all around them and they're being surrounded and everybody wants to hear their story. But essentially, they are just like all these other entertainers, except, not just like them, but very similar. However, for whatever reason, their performance allowed them to stand out. They were given the opportunity. It's just the whole, how can I say? It's almost like a sliding doors type of moment where, if you move the pebble of sand on the beach, you can go in one direction. And if, you moved it the other way, everything goes in the other direction. And again, Nana Visitor, who's Nana Tucker in this film. I mean, she's at the end. I mean, when you think about it, she was a working actress. I mean, she really, did a lot of different things in the 70s and the 80s, but really got her, I'll say, fame from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, playing Major Kira Nerys. And she did it very well. But it's just that prior to that, I mean, any of these actors that really have been in television series, not just limiting it to the sci-fi stuff, if they become acknowledged for that, it just isolates them and puts them into a different realm where they're noticed and the interest is there. But if they didn't have that breakout role, and you could even say that for a film director or a writer, then it's almost like you're just among the others. You know what I mean? It's just, you're kind of blending, but that's what separates. And it's sad that when you think that there's so many talented individuals out there that potentially never get that moment because they don't get their time,
their break or whatever.
Their break, yeah.
Well, there are a lot of people that never make it to the movies, that are excellent actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, if you're a working actor, that's a long wait to get from your one scene in the Sentinel to Deep Space Nine, which was at least 10 years later. When was that on?
Deep Space Nine premiered in 93.
So almost 20 years.
Yeah.
It was the third.
So this was filmed, you figure 76 to 92. So you're talking 16 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure she did other things in between. But,
absolutely.
But to get to the point where you're making your a good paycheck, finally,
7 seasons, you're under contract. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're working like freaking 18-hour days. They work very hard on that show. Yeah. The other thing is too, with the Star Trek shows, and I've heard this from different actors that have been on, when it came to dialogue, if it's on the script, you have to read. And I'm talking about Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, at least those two shows. What's ever written on the script is what you have to say. So if you put in if you put like an extra "the" in or an extra "a" in, there's actually a script supervisor that is reading along while you're doing your delivery. They'll actually stop and say, you didn't get it right. And then they have to go back. And the only way you can actually change it is to get permission from, the suits upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though. That's how not every television show is like that, but they were like that. And it was interesting to hear that.
I guess in the case of Star Trek, on the one hand, I guess you have to honor the mythos, the whole, because it's just such a rich universe. You don't want to travel, you don't want to get out of that. But on the other hand, it became such a like Disney. It became such a thing that you can't change anything,
And this was 30, 35 years ago, Ross. This is like with The Next Generation. This is like with Deep Space Nine.
You're already locked in with that stuff. You can't change a line.
No.
That was my best take. Yeah.
What was that?
That was my best take too. And maybe redo it. They had to get somebody to do close-ups with their hands because they couldn't get the take right.
Exactly. Tom Baker said, when we were talking before about the naked, he said, "No way, not even close." And James Bond premieres with Roger. Different time. We went with the grandparents to the Bond movies. It was anticipation. He said, "I am from Brussels."
Oh. Yeah, you did anticipate things, it seemed, back then.
Definitely. Said so many watch-alongs,
Oh,
YouTube suggestions.
so you're new. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us.
My goodness.
I hope you're enjoying the show.
I hope somebody is.
And he said, I always watch pop culture minefield watch-alongs.
Huh.
And what did he say? He said an actor's life is tough. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Bill said, sounds like a Doctor Who plot you just described. Oh, when I was describing about the sliding doors. Yeah. And Voyager too. Yeah, Voyager in regards to the having to follow the script. Yep. According to Kate Mulgrew. Yeah. I was talking to my God, now I'm just blanking out, so I can't tell you who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody from Deep Space Nine and Armin Shimmerman, and we were having a really good conversation about that. So it was. And then even Bill Mumy, he has said and stated in an interview, if you go online, in fact, you can see it on YouTube, he talked about his experience working on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And he was saying that he did that where he was doing a scene and he kept inserting a word. And what happened was they questioned him about it. And in fact, I think the script supervisor said, are you asking to change? And he was just like, no, and it was just, it was almost like an inflection. But anyway, I don't want to misquote him. But the point is, you had to follow it verbatim, what was on the script, what was listed. And,
take you out of your moment there. You kind of shatter the.
You're so worried you're not going to hit. You're not going to deliver properly. I mean, that's as an actor, that's got to be really tough. But I guess it's almost like if you do that week after week and you're on the show, your brain is it's almost like it's like a muscle. So you pretty much get used to preparing yourself and delivering in the right way. Yeah, exactly, Randy. Get them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance. He just celebrated a birthday, right, Ross?
Yeah. In the next world. Yeah. He did. It was just his birthday last week, the anniversary.
Remember?
Yeah. Arthur Kennedy was in Fantastic Voyage.
Was he really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the scientists. Unless I'm misremembering.
Interesting.
Unless I'm misremembering. But Donald Pleasance was in that movie.
Yeah, he sure was. That I remembered.
Wow, that.
Right.
Let me say. Stephen Boyd was in it. I know that. Yeah, good.
He said in Strange New Worlds Lower Decks, crossover Frakes was shocked that they ad-libbed. Yeah, there you go. But
oh, I got it mixed up. Oh, no, Arthur Kennedy was in it. He was a brain surgeon in the film.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. He was one of those guys. Ross, I'm actually going to have to break away for like 60 seconds. So if you can
so what am I going to do? Should I say goodnight?
Tell folks what your next, your favorite Halloween movie is.
This is it. What else? Oh, man. And I always have stuff that I want to show you, and I don't think I have anything on my desk right now. Halloween movies. One I thought we should do. I don't know why I thought that. Oh, because I was thinking about Rosemary's Baby. And then I started thinking about Polanski, and I realized he's a hot potato, but he did Fearless Vampire Killers. I wonder if we should do that. That might be a good crossover with Mike and Merideth sometime. Yeah. What else can I talk to you about? I hate when he does this to me. And I always have like tons of stuff to talk about, but not now. Oh, what was it? I'm rereading the Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon because I'm going to go see the opera. They made an opera out of the book, Pulitzer Prize winning book, which is about two cousins. One is a European refugee, flees the Nazis from Czechoslovakia to settle in Brooklyn, and his other cousin is a Brooklyn native, and they create one of the great superheroes of the golden age of comics called The Escapist. And anyway, so this is a fun book, but they made it into an opera. And I thought about it for some reason with this movie, and now I'll never be able to draw the connection. Damn it.
And what connection was that, Ross?
Well, now that you're back, I can think. I can't speak and think at the same time. I was thinking about the book and the shit. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, well, it's all good.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought of that though. There was the Houdini connection, because Houdini plays a very big part in that novel, because the guy who comes over from Czechoslovakia trains as an escape artist, and he's a big admirer of Houdini. There's all kinds of stuff in that book that's very era specific. So anyway, it's a great book. I've read it before, and I just rereading it. The only reason I brought it up is so I could have something to talk about. And I knew there was a connection to this movie, and it was the Houdini connection.
I see. Yeah. No, and you know what? You brought up a great point earlier when you were talking about that in regards to the magic, because magic in the 1970s was huge. I mean, they were doing these specials. Doug Henning was always popping up, and he always seemed like a real cheerful guy, and he was always like, always jovial, and he was doing all these magic tricks and everything. And I used to be excited by it. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, he had the hair. I mean, he was like the missing Hudson brother.
I always think of like you said, because he had like these long curly locks, and I always think of Weird Al Yankovic. Like he kind of resembled, with Doug Henning. But he was always really cool. Yeah. So let me see here. They're saying, "You're full screen, Ross." Before.
Lol.
George C. Scott
in all my glory.
You're not alone, Ross. He did it to me too.
That's right. I remember with the Mega Man. But
I have to say one thing real quick. I don't know how and honestly, folks, it was a bathroom break. 4 hours and 45 minutes, my longest show ever, and that was with Nick Tate. And I don't know how the heck I didn't go to the bathroom.
But didn't you have like a kidney stone issue then or something?
Then I had kidney stones like maybe 2 weeks later.
Actually, I have tons of stuff on my desk here. But everybody would have been bored by the stuff that I've got on my desk. That's the thing. He would have said, "Oh yeah, tell us more about, whatever."
Linda said, "I read that years ago. Didn't know there was an opera made."
Yeah. It's all the rage now. It's at the Met. It's Mason Bates is the composer. He's not my favorite composer, but it's supposed to be I think it's going to be a real spectacle. I don't know if it'll really have legs, because opera is supposed to be a vehicle for the voice and music. But I think they do a lot of nifty stuff with choreography and projections and things, so I'm going to get to see all that superhero action.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy, Solo Ross is like when Wayne left Garth to do the show on Wayne's World. Oh man. Tom is saying, "I love autobiographies, actors, and directors." And Shari said, "What about doing Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer?" Lots of laughs.
Did we do that?
I thought we did that. That was a great movie.
I think we did it.
Jimmy was in that film. That was Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah.
Tom is saying, "I'm reading the Frank Langella one."
Oh, the autobiography? Yes. Supposedly he tells... Well, I came across a copy at the library here. Yeah, because they have a little library bookstore where they have things that people donate, and I was reading a little bit. So Frank Langella kisses and tells. He dishes a lot in that book, if it's the same one.
Shari said, "Is that a movie?" Yes. And then Marianne said, "Magic was a huge connection even in the 60s. 2 on a Guillotine." Magic. Well, wasn't there... No, that's not. I'm trying to think if there was a movie about magic. Wasn't there a movie called Magic?
Well, with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. That was in the 70s, wasn't it?
Was that the one I'm thinking of? That wasn't the one with the dummy, though.
That might have been the one with the dummy.
Is it?
Am
I thinking of the right one? The one that Robert Wise did? Or am I mixing it up? I'm mixing it up with Audrey Rose. But Anthony Hopkins was with the dummy, right? Wasn't it Magic?
I think that's what that was. And that always reminds me of the Twilight Zone episode with my goodness, the actor that was Cliff Robertson with the dummy.
Oh, or Dead of Night with what's his face, Michael Redgrave. It's an anthology film, and he's got the spooky dummy.
Yeah,
from the 40s.
Wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, Magic. That was 1978. Yeah, that was with the dummy.
Who's the dummy?
Dead of Night, Thomas.
Dead of Night, right?
With Anne Margaret.
Okay.
1945.
1945 was the 40s. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
With Googie's in it. Googie Withers. She was a big British actress at the time.
Interesting.
Also.
Yep. So we covered the director, who we didn't cover, and we've covered him on this show because I saw his name come up and I said, oh, I know Ross knows who he is.
Yeah, well, if you want to make a true 70s WTF horror movie, you got to call this guy. Gilles Millet. Because, and I assume he's got the accent over the last E. So that's why I say Gilles instead of Gil. I don't know if he's American or if he's, French Canadian American, or I don't know what his background is. But he provided the music for Night Gallery and Kolchak. So you know the sound we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's primarily a jazz artist, and by artist I mean in both. Senses. He was a musician, but he was also a visual artist, and he designed cover art for people like what's his name, Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, Sonny Rollins. He did their covers for their albums, and he was also a band director. He directed sessions for Prestige Records and for the other big jazz record label, Blue Note. When I did overnight jazz at RTI, I was always playing from the Blue Note label. So he was a staff director for Blue Note, and he appeared at the first Monterey Jazz Festival. Was a film and TV composer. He used electronic instruments that he made himself, and sometimes he would blend these with acoustic instruments, orchestral instruments. And I was interested in this film. Yeah, had the music do some of the heavy lifting in some of the scenes with the skittering, strings. Where they would be doing con legno, where they hit the bow on the strings or pluck them and make them all spidery. And I think there was some element of electronics at some point. But by that point, I was so absorbed in the film. Some of the other movies he worked on, in The Andromeda Strain, The Organization, which was the third of the Sidney Poitier, Mr. Tibbs films. There was In the Heat of the Night, and They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. The Organization was the third one. And I'm sorry to say, Starship Invasions, one of my most hated films of all time, with Robert Vaughn and Christopher Lee.
We have to cover that, Ross. I remember when that came on, and I think I got through maybe literally like 3 minutes of it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is really so bad." Yeah, so bad.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to do like our most hated films. Just go completely to the dark side. But
just in time for the holidays.
Now, the most amusing thing I found about this whole thing with Gilles Millet was the fact that John Williams was supposed to do the music.
I know, I read that.
And he developed some mysterious ailment and backed off of the project. I'm not feeling so well. He had just done Jaws, and he was probably, signed to do Star Wars at that point. So it's like right between these two things. It's like, is the Sentinel really want to go right now?
He felt a tremor in the force.
He saved all his good ideas for the Sentinel, for the Fury. Yeah.
Oh, careful, Ross! Your chandelier is going to start shaking.
Nobody lives up there. Yeah.
Randy just said most hated films, a 6-hour special.
I know my top 10 films, the top 10 most hated films would expand very rapidly.
let me guess. Number one, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings would be in the top 10. All three of them.
AI.
AI would be in the top 10.
I nailed 2 of them. 2 out of 10. I'm on a roll.
Yeah, you're pretty good, Roy. You know your co-host.
Oh shoot. Oh, Lou just said, "I'm with you on Starship Invasion, Ross." Oh my god, that film is so bad.
I totally got suckered into that because I was going to see anything that was sci-fi, space oriented after Star Wars, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, what's playing this weekend? Ooh, Starship Invasions.
He was no Brad Fidel Square includes specific pieces such as Came to Me, Seduction Scene, Fright Night. Oh, Fright Night. There you go. It's funny. Fright Night. That's Chris Sarandon.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that was Gilles Millet, Gil Millet. I don't know how he said his name. I don't think he's with us anymore.
Yeah. So it's crazy to think this film, just like all the other, television shows and movies of that time, it's hitting. This is the 50th anniversary. We're going through the 70s.
I know. Like everybody's 80.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All the actors are, everybody involved in these things are suddenly 80 years old.
It's not. Yeah. It's like when we were kids, and you referred to the 1930s and the 1940s as like the golden age, and now it's like, what the heck? How could the 1970s be like the new golden age?
Yeah, well, the movies were better than the old movies.
Well, this is true.
But I mean, there were still some good movies being made. But it is crazy. It is crazy because, I always think that, if you go back to 76 or whenever this was made, it was released in 77.
Yeah.
But 50 years before that, we didn't even have sound movies yet.
No, I mean, when you think about all the evolution of pictures and television, it too. And I remember talking to Jeffrey Morris when he was on the show. We were talking about the Eagle Obsession, and we were talking about different things with the films. There was something about when you would watch those older movies from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the grain, the picture quality, that in itself made the film seem ancient or so old because
especially back then.
Yeah. Now when you watch something from the 60s, 70s, 80s, I mean, it's like, it looks like it was made yesterday for the most part.
It's miraculous what they've done with restoration for even the stuff from back then now. Right. When you watch a movie from 30s and 40s, they really can clean it up. It's to the point where it's unnerving sometimes.
Yeah, because that's part of the charm of watching some of the old films too, or the old TV shows.
Well, certainly when I was growing up, and all the kids my age back then, we were even though it was the 70s, we were all into the 1930s Universal horror movies, and Kiss of Death with Richard Widmark. Yeah. But and that was, like you say, part of the charm was the fact that the film was just so murky, and they were like dreams. They kind of went to the back of your brain and I don't know, spooked you out when you were a kid. You had to, maybe not you, but I was a big monster guy back then.
I enjoyed the monster films. There was some of them I didn't like, but there was some that I did. Bill said my dad remembered seeing Silence in the movie theaters.
Wow.
Films. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because my dad, my parents are from later than that. But it is interesting though, because we would sit around the dining room table when I was in high school or whatever, and I'd be talking about, I was always into old movies, and my stepfather would say, "Oh yeah, well, saw talked about Ben-Hur or whatever," and I thought, "Oh well, Ben-Hur is such an old movie." But no, I mean, Ben-Hur was like, we're talking about like 80. It was like 22 years before we were talking about it.
I know, right?
That's like nothing.
It's nothing now. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bill saying I can watch a movie and tell from the Technicolor of the deck. Yeah, absolutely, Billy. And it's interesting because, and I've said this so many times on the show, Ross and I've talked about this. Every decade has its tone, and it's something you can't even put into words, but you can tell from just watching the movie or the television show when it was made. And that could go again for a television series, something that's made in the 60s and goes all the way into the 70s, into the later 70s, and it's like a blueprint. Who would have ever thought it would? And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's in reference to the movies, I agree. Yeah.
He said Tom said he worked at a local video store for 15 years. Wow.
Yeah.
It's everything changed so much. It's crazy. Well, but so thanks for sharing that about Gil Malay. What's that?
Yeah, you're welcome.
But now I'm going to say, if you haven't seen the film and you want to be surprised, look away and close your ears for the next 2 minutes. And if not, and you don't care, that's fine, because whoa.
There you go.
When all is said and done.
Wow. Well, that was the other thing they said about the book was that, and when she enters the house for the last time, her skin started drying out and aging and what have you, which was not anything that happened in the movie. It was just a very sudden transformation there.
Yeah. And it's very sad because, I mean, it's almost like Jeff.
There you go.
Yes, Chris Sarandon is in this film. Yes. Thanks for joining us too, Costello.
Yeah.
Yep, it's sacrifice. Absolutely, Marianne. That's what it's about. And she was repenting, and but I mean, overall, groomed to take on. Yeah, exactly. And she had turned away. I mean, she was pretty much
right.
She gave up on her faith because of everything that happened, and then she was involved.
Because of her dad's orgies.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Poor Shari. It's like Ross all over again with the Omega Man. But all in all, though, I thought it was an enjoyable movie, and I thought it was a good film. I just think I felt it could have been better, but I definitely wouldn't pan it. I would probably give it like a 7.5 out of a 10.
Okay, that's fair. 75%.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have like a creepy orgy, you should have cake. So it gets an extra 0.5 from me for the cake.
Yes, I totally agree, Costello.
Oh, this totally reminded me of that movie.
And Burgess Merideth was in it, which
I know. When I suggested it to Roy, I kind of thought about Burnt Offerings.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though it's not the same, it just has kind of the same era.
And talking about Oliver Reed, there you go.
Yeah, right.
Now, Burnt Offerings, I'm trying to remember, wasn't that Dan Curtis?
Oh, yeah, Dan Curtis.
Yeah. And we covered that movie a couple of years back now. The other one that always comes to mind, too, is The Car. That was a 1977 film. The Car was 77. This was Burnt Offerings was 76. Oliver Reed. We talked about him.
My favorite line from The Car.
Yeah.
That
had a good cast, too.
I love when she's on the phone. It's like, the car's coming. The car's, I can hear it.
Yeah. That was tragic.
I guess so.
He said, Tourist Trap, it feels ahead of its time. But
I've not seen that one.
No, I didn't either.
That's the movie.
But yeah, so I think we covered everything in regards to that. If anybody has any last minute comments or
we talked about things that people movies where certain cast members played together, like Big Chill and
sure.
some of the other stuff. There were 2 Dune emperors in this movie. The Padishah Emperor, Christopher Walken plays the emperor in the new series that's out now. The Villeneuve's Denis Villeneuve or whatever, the director, and Jose Ferrer played him in the David Lynch version.
Okay.
So, but they're not in the same scene, unfortunately, in this. Otherwise, we'd have two Dune emperors.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I only saw the Dune one time, and it was because you and I covered it. That was the only.
Oh, yeah. You didn't see the new one yet.
I did not see the new one now.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I saw the new one, and I thought they did a pretty good job with it. It was, I'm not a big Hans Zimmer fan. If we're going to go to my top 10 most hated things.
Oh, and I know what number 3 is.
Yeah.
It's the latest Indiana Jones film. I know I've got 3 out of top 10.
But yeah, my hat's off to him. He did a good job with Dune, I thought. It's not something I would listen to at home, but I thought because a lot of what he does is so much like sound design, and I thought that he really, it kind of suited the world that they made for the first film anyway.
Marianne said to us, horror loves Dark Shadows was our Star Trek. Yeah. Interesting enough, Marianne, you're talking about Dark Shadows. At the Space 1999 convention, got to meet Catherine Lee Scott because she was actually in Dorzak, which was a second season episode of Space 1999. And she was extremely nice, extremely lovely. She just was recently married too. And I actually approached her about coming on the show because I thought we could talk about her career. And obviously she's done a lot of sci-fi, but Dark Shadows being a huge part of it. So it's not an official announcement because I have to iron everything out. But for the folks out there that are Dark Shadow, like the series, I'm looking to have her on hopefully in the near future. So Stay tuned for that. That'll be kind of cool. And she was also in a Star Trek The Next Generation episode. It was Who Watches the Watchers. It was an excellent, I think that was a third season. No, third season episode, 1989. So just thought I'd share that.
I was binge watching that a couple of years ago. That show's like taking drugs because you watch it, and then because it's a soap opera. You watch
it is. It was
the next episode. Half the episode is telling you what you missed in the day before's episode. It's like every episode you get like 5 minutes of content, but it is very. It's like a drug. It's there's something about it that makes you
rope in.
Yeah.
Is that like the show, Ross? We rope everybody in.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm wondering when the show's going to end.
Nice. Tom said, "When was your first watch along stream?"
Is that what we call this? Because we haven't done any like watch parties. But if he's referring to watch along stream, this, I mean, when was your first? It was 2020. Was it April?
April 3rd of 2020. So the show's been on for 5.5 years. And he said, never came across the channel. YouTube suggestions. Great watch-alongs. I missed a lot of great movies. Yeah, Tom, actually, how did you come up? Are you saying that you found our show by, it was a YouTube?
So it was recommended.
Well, that's cool.
Probably on, if you watch it on YouTube, it was probably over on the right of the screen or something.
Nice. We're trying to get the word out, so please feel free to share and let everybody know about it, especially if you enjoyed the show. So we really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Randy said, when did we stop drinking when Ross said a specific term?
I know that's back when the show was good.
Easy, Ross. My goodness.
Back when we were drinking.
Ross is like tossing us tonight.
No.
What do you say? We don't have the camaraderie anymore?
No, I guess we got the camaraderie. We just don't get up to the antics we used to get up to. Drink. There we go. Like Randy's a rabble rouser tonight.
I know, right?
Mr. Mephistopheles out there.
The skeleton is looking after us.
Egging us on.
It really is.
The guy sends you some bubble gum and
start chewing, Ross.
Yeah.
All righty. So I'm going to go to the shout outs. And on that note,
I think I'm out. I love to drink.
Bringing your creative awareness through our shout outs. After Ross shaved. that was like 5 years ago already.
Yeah, that we probably had the mojo when I had the beard. Yeah.
It's like when Dr. Smith lost his curls in the episode with that third season episode with the space hippies. Collision of the Planets. If you're a Lost in Space fan, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's something though that beard had the charisma that we still have people still watching the show here from that era. Yeah,
right. Remembering the great shave.
The power of the beard.
What was it? That was the doctor. The episode with Doctor. Oh my God.
Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe. Yeah.
Seven Faces of Dr. Lowe. Tony Randall.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, this is the 275th episode, Ross, give or take an episode or so.
Okay.
So we're going to do something very special for 300 once we get there, but we'll come back to that. I want to first give a shout out to our friends Mike and Merideth for Sci-Fi Distilled. They are on Wednesday nights, and they are also celebrating Halloween month, and they are on at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. They will be doing the top vampire films and maybe TV, I think more films, but they're going to be talking about top vampire movies, and that'll be this coming Wednesday. So definitely check them out. And in regards to Mike and Mary Beth, we will be doing our classic and our whatchamacallit? What's the word I'm looking for? It's a crossover. Our traditional, not holiday, but it's our I'll say crossover. It's going to be our 6th one. We are going to be on their show. It's going to be on Wednesday, October 29th.
Oh, so he freezes now.
I froze, really?
So when is it? Wednesday what?
Yeah, we're doing that with them on Wednesday, October 29th.
Gotta get my costume.
That'll be at 7 p.m. And we just have to iron out what we're going to be doing. Although I think it might. I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Monster Party, I think is the name of the movie.
Monster Squad.
Sorry.
Yeah, we already did Mad Monster Party.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be doing that with them, and we'll be getting dressed up as we always do. So that'll be fun. So they will be hosting the traditional Halloween crossover, and I can't believe that's going to be our 6th one already, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
So anyway, tune in to Mike and Mary Beth, Sci-Fi Distilled, and again, Wednesday. Also, want to give a shout out to our friends at Countrygate Theater, and that's Bill Scorado. And Countrygate is celebrating Halloween month. Well, actually, Halloween this year. They are going to be doing Frankenstein. Not Frankenstein, but Frankenstein. And that will be the week of 2 weeks, October 25th and November 2nd. So if you are in the New Jersey area, particularly in Belvedere, New Jersey, definitely check it out. You can go to the website, which is www.countrygate.org. And also Bill does have his own personal website, which is www.billscorado.com. And again, that's Countrygate Players. And also I want to give a shout out to Captain Phil. Captain Phil of Captain Phil's Planet is on WUSB 90.1 FM, Stony Brook, New York. The captain's schedule is Thursday nights from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and he's also on Friday nights from 9 to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is going to be within the next 5 minutes. So definitely check out the captain. You can get him on live on the internet. Shari's saying, you need to go through another drive-through. Yeah, back when we used to do all the David Letterman type stunts on the show, right, Ross?
Yeah. I do have a couple ideas. I mean, we kicked around a few things. I think on a future show we might do something.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So yeah,
yeah.
we're not losing our mojo.
Getting away from the record collection for a little while.
Hey, and I want to give a shout out to our friend Jeffrey Morris from the Eagle Obsession. Now, if you've been following, we've had Jeffrey on the show, and the Eagle Obsession is being released in different areas. It was just showcased in Los Angeles this week. In fact, Barbara Bain was there, as well as Rod Roddenberry, Eugene Roddenberry, as in Gene Roddenberry's son. He was there. So, and interesting enough too, he was talking about how he was a huge Space 1999 fan, which was really, really cool. So anyway, check out the documentary. It is at information about the documentary is www.eagledocumentary.com. And this movie is a labor of love for Jeffrey, and it is pretty amazing, and it is a nostalgia piece. So definitely check that out too. And also, I want to give a shout out to my son Ryan for his website, which is Run by Ryan. Empower Your Run. He's an online running coach. And if you want to register for his website, there is no charge for that to register. It is www.runbyryan.com. However, there are different levels if you want to basically have subscribed to his site in regards to having him train you. Then there is a cost associated with that. So definitely check out the site and that. And then Ross, if you can let everybody know what you've got going on.
All right. Well, these are my recorded shows. The first of which is just about over. Picture Perfect. That's the movie music show. Sweetness and Light. That's my light music show. That's tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Eastern, or if you're on the West Coast, it's 8 a.m. And this week I'll be playing all music by Vaughan Williams. He's one of my favorite composers, so it's some of his lighter works tomorrow morning on KWAX. And The Lost Chord is unusual and neglected classical music. And Yo-Yo Ma turned 70 on Tuesday, so I'm going to be playing some of his recordings tomorrow night on The Lost Chord. In fact, my film music show was all Yo-Yo Ma also. I did 7 years in Tibet, Memoirs of a Geisha, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because he played on all these soundtracks. And he did an album of Ennio Morricone scores. So I played that concurrently with our conversation. But tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern or 4 o'clock Pacific, I'm doing some of his lesser-known recordings on The Lost Chord. And I tease these things on my Facebook page at Classic Ross Amico. So if you can't remember that information there, I'll have it on my Facebook page tomorrow. And follow the page if you haven't done it already. That's my hard sell, Roy.
No, absolutely, Ross. And just to let everybody know, especially for the folks out there that are new to the show, if you haven't checked out Ross's page, definitely check it out. His information is very, very detailed and wonderful. He's very good at what he does. So just want to give you a shout out, Ross, because
thank you.
You are the music connoisseur, I shall say.
Oh, it looks like I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but it looks like I'm finally going to have a blog.
Nice.
because I'm putting far too much blog effort into my Facebook page all the time, and I think I've actually got a blog coming up.
No, you should definitely do that. So that's good to hear.
I know it's only about 20 years overdue.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll fill you in on that later.
All righty, thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
And everybody, there will be no show this next Friday. I'm actually going to be attending. There's actually a convention in Pennsylvania, and it's going to be taking place on Saturday. Actually, it's Friday the 17th, and it's Saturday the 18th. It is a lot. Well, they're going to be celebrating the 60th anniversary of Lost in Space. So I'm going to be checking that out. So we're not going to be doing the show next Friday. In fact, Marta Kristen's going to be there from Lost in Space. They're going to actually have the Jupiter 2 flight deck set up there as well. And they supposedly are going to have one of the 4-foot models from the show there too. So I'm a huge Lost in Space fan from back in the day. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. And actually, they're going to have a B9 robot there too as well. And for the folks that follow Dan Monroe online, he's got quite a cool following. He's going to be there as well. And there's going to be some other cool people there too. And like I said, they're going to have other stuff going on as far as a convention. So anyway, there's no show next Friday. Possibly I'll be doing a show on Sunday. Ross is going to be tied up, so I'm not sure what that'll be. Stay tuned and we'll see. If not, then we will be doing something probably the following week. And I'll let everybody know about that. And we'll keep you posted. And as Ross said too, regarding the pages, if you haven't liked or either the Facebook page or the YouTube page, please do so. And also, if you can share, there is no cost associated with that. It's free. We just want to help try to get the word out there, and that's provided you're enjoying it. So thank you for that. And Marianne said that said good night, and Dennis Chevalier saying good night and happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to our Canadians out there. I didn't realize that.
Right. Yeah. See, we're
that. And Bill actually has a question for you, Ross. Said, I've been meaning to ask, how many CDs do you have behind you?
They're not all behind me. I'd say 10,000.
It's a lot of CDs, Ross.
Yeah. This one's sitting on my desk. I could have talked about this one. See, I'd say I have nothing to talk about when I'm left here alone. And here I have Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein sitting right on my desk.
Oh, man.
I know. I know your friend Vinny has one too, because we both contributed to the Kickstarter.
That's right.
So we both have that now.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'd say all told, I've like 10,000 CDs and LPs.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with them when I die.
Don't be morbid. It's not like it's Halloween month, Ross.
Nobody wants any. Physical media, forget it. But physical classical music media.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dennis Chevalier said Thanksgiving in Canada is on Monday. So happy early Thanksgiving to all our Canadian friends out there. So good to know. So so we're going to sign off for now. Ross?
Yes, right.
Words? Any last words?
Oh, no, I already said stuff. I don't know. I'm a little tired today.
Nah, it's all good. No, you had a full day.
Yeah.
Had a full week. And we're at the 10th already. So with that said, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your viewership. Yeah. And as always, live long and prosper.
And have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.